Hello kids, Shubha Mangalam. This is Hemalata at Little Scholar High School taking up class 3 science, and we are in lesson number 3, that is animals and birds. Please open textbooks and come to page number 33, children. Okay, refer the page, that is 33. Now today we shall start our topic with feet and claws, and we already discussed about the different types of beaks, children. In the previous class we have seen about the different kinds of beaks, their shape, their nature. Few are broad, few are hooked, few are very pointed, few are very lengthy, and all this is because of the type of the food they take in. Now we shall move to the topic, that is feet and claws. What do you understand by feet and claws? Let us understand this first. Now, see, every animal or insects, anything you consider, they have their own organs to move from one place to the other place. Yes or no? For example, when we talk about animals, they have legs. Many animals are four legs. Yes or no? Two in front, two in back, and they move. And wherein there are certain animals which do not have well developed legs, and few animals do not have legs at all, like snake and all. They just crawl with the skin, and they move on the surface of the earth. And when we talk about the human beings, we have two legs wherein we move from one place to other place with the help of the legs. Now when we talk about the birds, it is the feet and the claws which we are going to discuss. Now what does this stands for, or what is the function or importance of this feet and claws? Let us see. Feet and claws help to sit on the branches. It helps the birds. The feet and claws help the birds to sit on branches. You know that birds will fly, they sit on the branches, and like wires and all. Why do they sit on the branches, children? Yes, to rest on the to rest themselves, to keep their body, to rest themselves, or sometimes to eat the food sitting on the branches, or to protect themselves from rain and all, or extreme hot weather conditions. So they have, the bird have to sit on the branch, or any wire like things you can say, or balls and all, so to sit on the branches. So feet and claws are helpful to sit on the branches. Now what is the next important function? The next important function is to catch food. You might have observed a hen or a crow or a sparrow. I am taking the simple examples because these are the one which we find in our surroundings. Yes or no? You might have observed that the hen or a crow or any sparrow, what they will do, children, whichever the food item they find, they try to hold the food item in between their legs, or we can say here feet. Okay, and they, with their beaks, they will attack on that food, or they feed on that food. So here what is the next thing? To catch the food, so that the food will not get if they are if the animals, if these birds are eating any flesh for example, if it is moving here and there, they can't eat properly, so they will hold the food properly, and then they will feed on that food. Okay, then to protect themselves, and to protect themselves also. Now feet and claws are also helpful in the protecting themselves. It can be due to the extreme weather conditions and all. Okay, then the birds have four toes on each foot. Now what do you understand by the toes? Four toes on each feet, and at the end of the toe it is the claw which looks like a sharp nail. First let us understand what is the meaning of a toe here. Toe, see children, like we have the fingers, like all these are fingers which are made up of small digits here. This single part from here to here, this is called a digit, and these are the fingers. The fingers are made up of digits, like that. At the end of the feet, even the birds have this toes. Okay children, so that is nothing but fingers. Toes are nothing but the fingers. Okay, at the end of the toe, that means at the end of the fingers, at the end of the fingers, or the toe, here the word is toe, but for your understanding I am saying it as fingers. At the end of the toe, it is the claw which looks like a sharp nail, and the end of the toe, what they have, children, they have the claw. Like for example, at the end of the finger, what do we have? We have a nail, yes or no? At the end of the finger, what we have nail? Like for birds also, at the end of the toes, for birds also, at the end of the toe, they have sharp pointed objects, and that is called as a claw, which is like a sharp nail, which is like a sharp nail. So these are the different important functions of the feet and the claws which a bird has. Now let us move to the different kinds of claws or the feet. Now first one we are talking here is about the perching birds. First, feet and claws, what we are going to discuss is about the perching birds. Now, what do you understand by perching birds? Perching birds are nothing but the birds which normally rest on the branches, or the birds which sit on the branches for eating or to protect themselves, like that. So, what are the examples given here? The examples are sparrow, crow and myna. What are the three examples we are discussing here? Sparrow, crow and myna. Now let us talk about their feet. How are they? They are slender toes. They are, that means the feet, they have a very slender. Slender means very thin. How are they? Slender feet. And how are they, children? Three in front, one at the back. See, for example, here, if you look at this particular diagram of the feet, the toes are total how many in number? They are total slender. Slender means thin. Okay, this can, you can make out the, these are the thin ones. Okay, and how will be? Three will be in the front. Three will be in the front and one at the back. Three in the front and one at the back, children. Slender means thin. For the sparrow, crow or myna, the feet are the tender ones, and three will be in the front and one in the back. You might have observed this for a crow nearby your house and all. Okay, then what is the purpose for this? To grip branches while sitting. Now these crows or this myna or sparrow, what we are talking about, these are the common birds which we see in our surroundings. And you might have observed that this crow or sparrow are sitting on the branches, and at the same time they are sitting on some thin wires also, and they have to maintain the balance on these branches or on the wires. And what is helping them to maintain the balance on such a thin wire and all? These are nothing but the feet. Now how are they? They are three in front, children, and one in the back. Three in the front, three, okay, three in the front and one at the back. This is how the feet which are present in this sparrow, crow and myna. Just you remember that they are slender, three in front, one at the back, and they help to have a grip or hold the things, to have a grip on the branches or the wires where, on which they are sitting, on which they are sitting. Okay, children. Now let us move to the second one, that is scratching birds. What now we shall talk about the feet and claws, about the scratching birds. Now here, what do you understand by scratching birds? I'll let you know. First, let us look at the examples. They are hen, peacock, and hen, peacock, and rooster. Okay, children. Hen, peacock, and rooster are the three birds which come under the scratching birds. Now, what do you understand by scratching? Whenever you look at these names itself, you can say that these are the birds which have to scratch. What I mean to meaning of scratching, you can understand in this way is like you might have observed a hen just scratching with the legs. That means it is digging, not digging means just moving the soil up and down. Okay, moving the, making the soil to grow up and down, so that a little dig will happen, from which it can pick up the grains and all. So for you to understand scratching, you just think like just moving the soil with the claws and all. Okay, so scratch or dig. See here, already the word is mentioned here. Dig, scratch or dig the ground to find insects or worms. Now you whenever you see these kind of birds, you know that they have to feed on some or the other things. What they are feeding on? They are feeding on some grains or some insects or worms and all. So from where they are getting this? They are getting this from the soil, and naturally it will, in the soil it is not just spread out like that. All these worms and all insects may be in the little down to the surface of the soil also. So they are not only available on the surface of the soil, but they are little deeper into the soil. So for the bird to eat these ones which are at the little down of the soil, what they have to do? They have to dig the soil. Whenever they dig the soil, naturally a pit will form, and from which it can take the food and eat. So these are the toes and these are the claws, children. So these are the toes and these are the claws. If you look at, observe them, see how pointed they are. They are very pointed. Yes or no? See how pointed they are. So these pointed things will make the bird to scratch the ground and to have the food. Okay. Now let us move to the climbing birds. Our third one is regarding climbing birds. And what are the examples we have to discuss here is woodpecker, and parrot. Two examples in your textbook what they have given here regarding the climbing birds are woodpecker and the parrot. Now, what is the nature of their feet? Here they have two toes in front and two toes at the back. Initially we discussed here as three in front and one at the back. Three in front and one at the back for this crow and sparrow. But when we are talking about this parrot, what they are saying, two in the front and two behind. Two in the front and two at the back. Now these woodpecker or parrot have the toes which are two in front and two in the back. If you can see in the diagram. Yes or no? So these are the one which are attached to the body. So these are the back ones and these are the front ones. And these are the front ones. Okay, children. So with these toes, what they are able to do? They are able to climb the branches of a tree, or they are able to cling itself. Cling means to hold the branches and just keep the body down and move front and back. Okay, like inverted position. Okay, like holding the branches like this and keeping the body will get a downside to facing towards the surface. We can say cling means holding in the branches and body will be down, that is like like kind of swing. They how to swing, they swing in the air. So this is the parrots and woodpecker are able to do this because of this toes only, which are two in front and two in the back. Now we shall move to the swimming birds. Now we shall move to the fourth one, that is swimming birds. From the word itself we can understand that this goose and the duck are the one which live in the water, and from the water only they are getting their food. From the water only they are getting their food. Then how is their toes? Yes, three toes joined with skin in the front. See children, here in the diagram, these are the toes, the black ones. Hope you can see the diagram. See, these are the toes. 1, 2, 3. Okay, three toes, and how they are? They are joined with some thin layer of the skin. They are joined with a layer of a skin. They are joined with the skin, and hence their feet are referred as webbed feet. Hence, because the in between the toes they have the skin here, their toes are referred as webbed toes. Now why this goose or duck have the webbed toes? What is the reason behind that? Yes, and we said that they are the one which live in the water. Naturally, when they are living in the water, they have to push the water back so that the body can move front. Yes or no? They have to push, the bird have to push the water in backward direction so that the body can move in the front direction. So when there is a gap between these two toes, the water cannot be pushed back. Water cannot be pushed. But in case there is some layer, what happens? The water is easily pushed back. Are you understanding, children? So in case of swimming birds like goose and duck, we have three toes, and these three toes are joined with a skin. Hence they are referred as webbed feet. And what is the reason behind them? To swim. When there is a skin between these two toes, or when they have this webbed feet, that is making them to push the water back, and hence the body can move forward. This is the reason why they have the webbed feet. Now let us move to the wading birds. Now let us move to the wading birds. Now what do you understand by the wading birds? Yes. Example here are stork, heron and crane. Okay children, what are the examples when we are talking about the wading birds? They are stork, uh, heron and crane. Okay children. Now wading birds have what kind of feet they have? Yes, they have slender and long feet. How slender means again thing, and long. Here I have whatever the space is available to me, I have done in that way children. Slender is thin, long means lengthy. Okay, slender is thin, long means lengthy. You crane, for example, the crane which we have seen many times in our nearby ponds and lakes. Okay, now wading birds have this kind of feet because see, these are also the birds which live in the water, of course. And of course they are the cranes and all have the ability to move to the trees and all, but for the finding the food and all, they have to come to water. From the water only they are getting the food like insects, worms or fish and all. So what happens, these legs or feet are designed so that they can withstand the moving water. They can withstand means to stand. See, water will be continuously moving. If the bird is not standing with firm legs, what happens? It will be like pushed back. Yes or no? It cannot survive. Hence the legs have to resist this moving water. Hence the legs are very slender, long, and they are strong also. When this legs are like this, what they are doing with the pointed beak, they are searching the food in the water, which is making the bird to stand in the water for a longer time until they catch the food. Okay children, this is the wading. And wading here means like the water will be to the knee level. Wading in wading birds, the water can reach only to the knee level children. Okay, then this is about the different kinds of feet and claws. Hope you understood. I'll just do a small brief explanation. The importance of feet and claws are to sit on the branches, to catch food, to protect themselves, that is the birds to protect themselves, and they have four toes on each foot. Okay, at the end of the each foot, it is claw which looks like a sharp nail. These are the importance of the feet and claws. Now when we talk about the different types of them, it is the perching birds, wherein we are talking about the sparrow, crow and myna, where they have three toes in the front and one at the back. Three in front and one at the, these are the front ones, and this is the back one. Okay, which is making them to hold the branches or wires and sit on them or rest on them or to protect themselves. Now when we talk about the scratching birds, these are the birds which move the soil or which digs the soil so that they can get the food from the soil. And see, these are the claws, as a nail like structures, nails. These are the nails like structure which are very pointed. Now climbing birds like sparrow and all, here two in the front, the toes are two in front and two in the back, and they can swing in the holding these branches also. Then swimming birds like example goose and duck, where they have the webbed feet so that the water can be pushed back and the body can move in the front direction. And in wading birds is, they have to again search the food in the water only. for which they have the strong, slender, long feet, which is able them to withstand or to stand still even if the water currents are blowing until they get the food from the water. Okay, children. So now we shall talk about the one more type of feet and claws, that is flesh eating or preying birds. Now we shall talk about the birds which are flesh eating or the preying birds, and how are their claws. See children, here Prey, this prey means food children. Pray is the prey what we offer to God. Pray is the prey what we offer to God. But prey is the food. Okay. Now how what are the examples under this group? Yes, they are hawk, eagle, vulture and the falcon. Hawk, eagle, vulture and falcon. So these are the birds which have sharp, strong, curved claws called talons. So how are their the feet and claws of this hawk, eagle, vulture and falcon children? They are sharp, they are strong, they are curved, and hence and the term what is given for these birds feet is talons. Talons is a word which refer to the feet itself. So so this is the feet, how actually it looks like. And these are very pointed, see children, these are very pointed, these are very sharp, and they look very strong enough also. Yes or no, they look very strong enough, and these are very sharp and pointed. And if you observe here, they are curved also, they are curved in nature. Usually these kind of birds, they prey on or they eat this frog, rat, snake, these kind of food they feed on. This hawk, eagle, and they feed on rat, frog or snake. So when they are feeding on this kind of animals or small animals, what we call them, the flesh has to be taken, or they have to be maken into pieces for them to eat. Yes or no? So for that purpose only the claws, the nails, claws are nothing but the nails at the end of the toe, I said. Claws are nothing but the nail like structures at the end of the toe. Claws are the nail like structure at the end of the toe. So hence, because they have to tear that flesh and all, they have this sharp, strong and curved claws. And here we, in case of this flesh eating or preying birds, flesh eating or preying birds, we call them as talents. Okay children, so talents is the word where you need to remember when we talk about the preying birds or the flesh eating birds. Now with this, here the topic of feet and claws will end children. Now we shall move to the next topic, that is about the nest. That is about the nest. All of you know, when looking at this word itself, you know what is a nest. Yes. See children, every organism which is there on this earth, even whether it is a very minute organism or small organism to a very large animal, every animal has its own house or has its own shelter where they rest, they eat and do some activities. Yes or no children? Now even for the birds also, they have the home, or we can say the shelter, and those we call that shelter we refer as, or the shelter of the birds we call it as nest. Okay children, the shelter of the birds we call it as nest. In, you might have observed, in reality this nest in many on the trees and all where the birds are sitting. Yes or no? Then what is, why they are building this nest, why they are building this nest? Yes, birds build the nest for to lay eggs. So first thing, of course, to sit or rest or to eat, all that. But more importantly, the birds build the nest more importantly for lay the eggs, for laying the eggs, because they can sit on the branches of the trees, they can sit on the wires or on the surface of the walls and all, on the walls and all, and eat the food. But more importantly, they build the nest to lay eggs, to lay the eggs. To, and from this, when the birds lay the eggs, when the this egg hatches, and when the egg hatches, the new baby arises from that egg. Yes or no, children? So when the nest is when the bird lay the eggs in the nest, when the eggs hatches, then the baby, the newborn baby, will arise from that egg. So hence we say that the birds will lay the nest to lay eggs. And what is one more point? To raise their nestlings. To raise their nestlings. What do you understand by nestlings? Nestlings are nothing but the baby birds. Nestlings are nothing but the baby birds. So when the egg opens out and when the new baby is coming from that egg, then we call them as nestlings. Nestlings are nothing but the baby birds. Now they are so very young. See children, the newborn baby or the baby of from months old, when we talk about the human beings, okay, for that matter, many animals, when we talk about, immediately when they are born, immediately when they are born, they cannot run, they cannot fly, they cannot move. It takes some time for them to grow, gain energy, and when the body organs will become strong, then only they can move or fly. In the same way, immediately when the new baby is coming from that egg, the baby cannot, the bird baby cannot just fly away. They are very tender, they are very small, okay, and they need some time to grow, okay, they need some time to grow. So in the meantime, what the mother baby is do mother bird is doing, it has to raise that baby. Yes or no? So what the bird will do, it will just with the help of the wings, what we discussed and all, it will move to far off places, it gathers the food for the baby birds, and again come back to the nest, and it will feed the nestlings. Yes or no, children? It will feed the nestlings. That means you understood now. Mainly the nests are built to lay the eggs and to raise their nestlings. Nestlings are nothing but the baby birds. The moment the baby is born, it cannot fly. It takes some time for the baby bird to fly. Until that, the mother bird is taking care. It will move to far off places. It gathers the food and come back to the nest and feed the babies. Once they become strong enough, when the baby grows, when they become strong enough, the wings become strong enough, then they move from the nest. Okay children? Yes. Now this is the reasons, these are the points why the birds will build the nest. These two are the points which says us why the birds will build the nest. Now let us talk about the different types of, with what material the birds are building the nest. Like we build our house with bricks, cement, sand, some steel rods or iron rods and all. Yes or no? But in case of birds, it is with some the material which is already available in the nature. The birds will build the nest with some kind of material which are available in the nature itself. Okay, now nest can be small or big. The nest can be small also, and it can be little big in size also. And where do they build the nest? It will not build the nest in front of our house. Yes or no, children? They have some places where the birds will build the nest. And what are those places? Yes, on the tree tops. Yes, the birds will build the nest on the tree tops. Next, on the ground. Children, this is not exactly on the ground, but it will be little away, little above from the surface of the ground. Okay, on the tree tops is the first point. Second point is on the surface of the ground. That means little above from the surface of the ground, where they have some place. The place should be very safe, because in the nest the eggs will be there. With the bird will lay the eggs, there can be some eggs, or the babies can be there, which there are many chances for other animals like dogs or cat to attack. these babies and all and eat away them. So hence we will not say that it is exactly on the ground, but little above from the ground in a safe place where the eggs or the babies are safe enough. And on the roofs of the houses and like on the terrace and all, we have there are some spaces, yes or no, on the terrace, in the like mostly we see on the terrace or on the balconies, some corner of the balconies and all, they will build on the nest on the roofs of the houses also. So what are the three places where the birds will build the nest? It is on the top of the trees, on the ground, and on the top of the houses or on the roofs of the houses. Okay, now we shall talk about this part, that is what is the material. As I said earlier, they will not build a nest with cement or bricks and all. Yes, they build their nest with some material which is already available in the nature. And what are those different materials? Yes, they are twigs. Twigs means like small pieces, small sticks, or we can say dried of stems, okay, or dried small leaves. So twigs, dry leaves. When the leaves are fresh, children, they are green in color and all. But the when the leaves dry up, they become yellowish or brownish in color. So those dried leaves are helpful for the bird to build the nest. Then it is the grass. Okay. Then cotton. Cotton is not the cloth I mean to say here. The cotton which is available, the white one which is like a fur, the cotton which is white one which is like a fur, that cotton I mean to refer here. Okay. And the feathers, yes, some birds will shed off their feathers, or some due to some accident, or when they're stuck up with the trees, or otherwise the bird's feather will fall off, yes or no, children? So the what the other birds will do, the other birds will pick up these feathers and they will use these feathers for the building of their build construct building of their nest. Then straws are again nothing but the stick like things. Straws are nothing but the sticks. Wool, okay, the cotton wool like thing, soft, soft, all these are soft material. Okay. And the piece of rag is nothing, pieces of cloth, small pieces of cloth is called as rag. So the bird will build the nest using materials like twigs, dry leaves, grass, cotton, feathers, straw, wool, or piece of rag. Rag is nothing but pieces of small cloth size. So this is the about the nest. So it is just in a brief, uh, short, just in a small nutshell we will revise this. The birds will build the nest to lay the eggs, to bring up the babies. Those are nothing but the nestlings. And where do they construct the or build the nest? Yes, on the tree tops, on the ground, on the roofs of the houses. And what is the material used? I just read this now. Okay. So this is about the animals and birds, wherein we have discussed about the feet and claws, the various feet and claws for different birds, and we have discussed about the nest. So we shall stop here, children, and in the next class we shall move to the different topic. But copy the Sakshi before we stop the class. The Sakshi is, I have discussed about all the feet and claws, children, with the diagrams. So the same thing is given on page number 33 in your textbook. On page number 33 in your textbook. So you will write all the different types of feet and claws. We have 6 there. So all the 6 different kinds of feet and claws you will write. If possible, you do the diagrams, otherwise it's fine. But make sure that you are writing the page 33 in your class work. Okay, children, then in the next class we shall move to the next topic. Until then, thank you.